So today I would like to talk about why photography is not the most healthy environment we can actually be. Don't get me wrong, two most important things in a photography or in any creative endeavor, for me at least, it's inspiration and motivation. They're two totally different things, and you can kind of work without one or another, but the best is to have both. So for me, inspiration comes from outside. It's something what come through your filters, come through your senses, and you actually feel inspired. You have like new ideas, you read the book, you saw the movie, you saw the picture, you saw whatever, something came to you, you processed it, and you feel inspired. And then there is a brute force, this is motivation. Very often actually people give the permission to something else give the motivation, you know, like please motivate me, and we like let our motivation and all our like future just hang somewhere out there. But motivation should come from within yourself, you know. I found myself that the key to create this environment which is sustainable on its own, and it's perpetually creating and giving you inspiration and motivation, is actually creating community. Be part of community. You know, we all know that the photography is solitary activity or even a business, you know, like you are always on your own, and sometimes you get lost. You know, it's everything standing on you, and you are alone, and it feels very disappointing, feel very, very hard on yourself. So first key, what I would actually advise you to do is to join community or create community of people who are passionate about the same thing as you are. For me, it happened like really by chance. In Montpellier, there was a guy who was actually looking for exactly some kind of community. This guy in Montpellier, he was going through Instagram, and he was checking the hashtag of street photography inside of the Montpellier location. And actually he found a couple of photographers, and after this community grew, and now this is like community of like around 30 photographers. And even though the COVID has actually changed the plans and we don't talk that much, we had a couple of nice times, you know, couple of times we went outside, we were shooting together, and we enjoyed the time. What actually I find very interesting about this is that before I was kind of against it, you know, I didn't like this point that we go together and he see my kind of magic tricks. I saw myself that I was not the best photographer, and I thought that I have some kind of good ideas. So I felt that if I go outside with them, you know, and we shoot, and I show them like, you know, this is trick I know, and this is that I follow, and so on, that I will kind of give all my magic tricks out, you know, and that I won't be special anymore. And this is not true, you know, because I just found out after that, you know, when we went outside, we were just like, it was a random day, you know, nothing special, no riot in the city, no revolution, no some special event. It was just normal Tuesday, you know. We went outside, we were shooting, and even though afterwards we sat on a terrace, you know, and we were just drinking, and we were talking about what kind of photographs we did that day. Actually, there were similar situations. There was some interest point, you know, on the street, and we were like 7 people. We all took pictures of the same situation, but the angles were different. Cameras are different, lenses are different. Someone liked to come closer, someone shoot the whole scene, and there was no 2 pictures we were even similar. And this is fun, you know, because if you think about this is same situation, same photographs, you know. But at the same time, no. So don't feel like it's competition, because it's not. Okay? There is no winning. You are like, what are you winning, you know? Like Nobel Prize? Like what there is, you know? Connection between people is much more important. Remember, this is not competition. Just in the case when there is competition about photography, yeah, that might be different. But in normal life, it's not a competition, and you can go outside with your friends, have fun, and talk about stuff which interests you, you know. you talk about the movies, about the books, magazines, you know, some places to go. And that's my next point. Photography festivals and exhibitions. I don't know where are you from, and if in your city or in your country it's quite popular, but in France, and particularly in the south of France, photography is very popular. There is like 3-4 cities which are truly connected to photography world, and even in one city I just visited this weekend. It's the biggest festival, biggest photography festival in the world apparently. This festival was created in 70s, and it's truly interesting. Basically, the whole city became one big exposition of thousands of photographers. This festival is called Rencontre de Arles, and it exists for like 53 years. But I will just read you some of the names which attended this festival in all this history, and we are going from the names like Ansel Adams, Robert Doisneau, André Kertész, William Eugene Smith, William Eggleston, Joel Meyerowitz, Stephen Shore, Mary Ellen Mark, Martin Parr, and many more. This festival is huge, you know, and I was like, okay, I felt a little bit down for all this, so I was like, okay, let's go. So I grabbed the car, I went there, and I was like, okay, I go for expositions. I go to look for the photos and get, you know, like kind of inspiration and soak in the art, and maybe there will be some inspiration for some new story or some project. And honestly, from all these photography projects I can honestly say that I didn't see anything. You know, I saw maybe 4, 5, 6 expositions, but after, you know, when I was driving there, I was talking like, okay, let's think differently this time. Let's maybe talk to the people. So I did. I just went, and I was like, okay, let's not care about photos. Let's talk about people and with people about people. You know what? Like this is the place with the biggest concentration of photographers. So I went there, and first stop, I went for one restaurant to just have a coffee, and apparently this was the office for the festivals, because there is primary, like official festival, and secondary, unofficial festival. Basically, like the whole city is just pumped with the photographs. And actually, I started to talk with one guy, you know, like he was an older photographer, and apparently I found out that he was the director of this secondary festival. Very huge insight. He was actually even teaching photography in New York, so like, it was very interesting. He was like in photography for 45 years, so he knew what he was talking about. It was interesting, you know, and I always carry with me, you know, a book of my projects, so I showed him, and you know, it's nice. It's kind of very supportive, this community. So we talk about how to approach subjects, how to talk, how to create a story, and where the photography of modern days are actually going. And then I went outside of the office. I was like, okay, let's go for the expositions. He actually advised me to some certain places which I should see. And on the way there, in the front of the church, there was a young guy, 25 years old, and he was shooting people on the street with his big Afghan box. You know, it's like big old style camera. You know, it's like big box, maybe like 40 centimeters to 1 meter. Basically, it's a small studio. Like it's a lens at the beginning. Inside, he has like a couple of places for different chemicals. And I just wanted to see, you know, I started to talk to him. After actually he did even a photo of me. I bought a book from him, and it was very inspirational, you know, like he told me about his way, about his projects. And you see that someone who is doing basically the same thing, but differently as me. And it's kind of inspiring and actually even motivating, you know. That like there is some other people who are doing it and can be successful, so it's not like dead end, you know. He did this photograph of me. I mean, it's original. It's on the photographic paper, and I don't know. But every time I'm looking at this photo, and like I don't see myself. Like sometimes I feel stupid. Like, oh, I watch myself. Like I fell in love with myself, but. No, like when I watch this photo, I see all this day. all these talks, all these people I met, and it feels nice that like you are not alone. You know, when you are on your Instagram and you are scrolling and you are, you know, jumping back to your profile and seeing like how it looks, then you go back to the wall scrolling and like how these people have these likes and success, you know, like this doesn't mean anything, okay? I mean, just to make some conclusion of this video. You know, my friend, you should connect to the real world, you know, like there is people out there who are trying to do similar things as you, and maybe they found a way how to do it. Maybe they still struggle, and maybe you have something for each other. Just remember one thing: popular doesn't mean good, okay? Don't compare yourself to all these Instagram and internet famous photographers and stuff, you know, like watch what you like, watch the photography and art which please you, which feed your soul, and enjoy the time. And I find this really important. Don't close yourself out from the world, you know. Find a community, talk to the people, and enjoy your time here, okay? So you don't need to be the most famous person in a room just so you feel better, okay? Create for yourself and everything else will come. Have a nice day. If you enjoyed this video or this talk, hit like, maybe even subscribe. This would really mean a lot to me. Now there is 15 people down there. You might be 16. I would be very happy. So see you with the next video, and have a nice time.